Okay, today is Tuesday, 2nd of June 2026, about midday. Air temperature 30 degrees centigrade, about 86 degrees Fahrenheit. It's starting to get hot now, sometimes reaches 35 degrees centigrade in the afternoon when the sun is shining. But been raining a bit today, so it's a bit cooler. So this is video number 10 in the basic series, and it's the last video I'm going to make in this series. Although I've called it conclusion, it'll probably just turn out to be me rambling on about assorted bits and pieces rather than a precise summary of what I may have said in the previous 9 videos in the series. Now, first of all, I'll emphasize again that the series is about keeping MEDAKA outdoors. And secondly, I'd emphasize that I've never kept MEDAKA in an indoor aquarium where all the parameters of water quality, temperature, lighting, etc., can be strictly controlled in accordance with whatever recommendations can be found in other books or websites. And I suggest it's important to remember these two factors. I'll even go as far as saying that it's a waste of time reading stuff in books, etc., about MEDAKA in indoor aquariums, because that can never be replicated under outdoor conditions where environmental factors fluctuate during the day, during every day, and they continually change throughout climate seasons. Frangipani flowers just fallen down in the rain. I forgot what I was going to say now. Okay, so to some extent it's possibly going to be a matter of trial and error to find out under what sort of conditions can MEDAKA best be kept so that they can thrive outdoors in each particular climate. As a simple example, MEDAKA love the sun, but in my subtropical climate, if I located the MEDAKA tubs in the sun in a very hot summer, the fish would quickly become unhealthy or die because the water is far too hot. So I either locate the tubs in the sun in the winter and move the tubs to a shade under a tree in the summer, or I cover the tubs with 80% shade cloth in the summer. Now, it's well known that MEDAKA are adaptable, and generalizing wildly, MEDAKA may be able to adapt over a period of time to survive outdoors in, say, within reason, many types of climate. But for anyone starting out with MEDAKA, the best chance for success is to obtain the fish from a local outdoor breeder, if you're lucky enough to find one, or maybe from a breeder located in a similar climate. The fish from these sources probably will then thrive in your own climate. But if you can only get MEDAKA from sources where the type of breeding conditions are unknown, maybe even the fish might have been bred indoors, then it's going to be a matter of trial and error to see if the MEDAKA being purchased will thrive in a particular climate. And I'll point out that the MEDAKA are tough. There's a difference between the fish thriving as compared to only just surviving, and hopefully the aim is going to be to provide conditions for the MEDAKA to thrive and be healthy and fertile. But as I said before, MEDAKA are adaptable, even if initially newly obtained fish in a particular climate conditions are only just surviving, it's possible that over a few generations the MEDAKA strain will develop characteristics that enable the strain to thrive in that sort of climate, which is why I tend not to mollycoddle newly hatched fry. Newly hatched fry are quite delicate for the first couple of weeks, so I'll try to give them reasonable water temperature and reasonable water quality conditions. But for example, I only want fry to survive if they're strong enough and have enough self-preservation instinct to swim to the surface when they hatch to feed on powdered fry food, and also, for example, for them to survive the fluctuations in daytime and nighttime water temperature conditions, etc., etc. In this way, hopefully the strain will evolve over several generations to thrive in my particular climate and water quality conditions. However, in my experience, it hasn't always worked out that way, and I've had several strains that appeared not to be able to evolve in that way, and the strain slowly died out. Which brings me to something I often repeat, that is, when keeping MEDAKA outdoors, you can't assume that a MEDAKA is a MEDAKA, and that all strains are very tough and adaptable, and all strains can survive in all conditions. In my experiences of trial and error in keeping MEDAKA outdoors, I found surprising differences in the various strains that I've managed to obtain. For example, are they tame? They come to the surface, or are they timid and they hide away at the bottom of the tub? Do they spawn at 20 degrees centigrade or 25 degrees centigrade? Do they spawn at 11-hour day length or 13-hour day length? Do they survive very hot temperatures? Do they thrive in very low temperatures? Are they fertile or are they less fertile? Do they have a high percentage of breeding true, or do they have a low percentage of breeding true, etc., etc., etc. And for me, that's what continues to make it interesting to keep MEDAKA outdoors. Okay,